Tony Tukumbo Fernandez show is all about promoting the true life and success stories of African and Caribbean achievers around the world. If there's a product or initiative you wish to share, feel free to give us a call. The number is 0788 280 9005. A very warm welcome to all our listeners around the world. You're welcome to the Tony Tukumbo Fernandez show, promoting the true life and success stories of African and Caribbean achievers around the world. So if there's a product or initiative you wish to share, feel free to give us a call. The number is 0788 280 9005. That number once again is 0788 280 9005. Or visit our website at www.tonyfernandez.co.uk. And our show is all about promoting the true life and success stories of African and Caribbean achievers around the world. So wishing all our listeners, fans, and friends a very happy new year in 2023. We have some amazing guests lined up this year, including some celebrities and people making an impact around the world. And today we're staying here in Bradford, West Yorkshire, City of Culture 2025, to speak to an amazing young gentleman. He's a Bradford-based business entrepreneur and former ex-rugby professional player. He's also the CEO of Fagborun Limited. So, Mr. Bolu Fagborun, lovely to have you as the first guest on our show this year. I mean, you're looking very, very relaxed. How are you feeling today?
Thanks very much, Tony. Thanks for letting me kick off the year with you, and what a fantastic platform you've got for people around the world to come on and share success stories. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Had a little bit of rest over Christmas, so I'm looking forward to this year. Looking forward to the up and downs of a year, and yeah, really looking forward to getting into the things going on in both Bradford and around the world.
Beautiful. And I thought we should start the year in Bradford, at home. Well, both of us have two homes, Bradford and Nigeria. So it's a good way to start the year. And but first and foremost, for the benefit of all our listeners around the world, can you just tell us a bit about yourself, your background, and the things you're most passionate about in life?
Yeah. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, so I've lived in Bradford since I was around 5 years old. I was born in Nigeria. I came over here with my parents. My dad did a PhD, Commonwealth scholarship from Nigeria. So he did it in York. So yeah, we stayed there ever since. I became a professional rugby league player. So I had the opportunity to play professional sports whilst I was still at school, which was brilliant. So I think I made my professional debut at 18, which was a great experience. Being around rugby league as a young kid and being able to, in essence, play and train with your idols, I think it was really fantastic in both my development as a human being, obviously development in sports, just being around and being exposed to excellence and to people who trained and played at the highest level. It just never really left me, and I think it really helped guide me in sort of the future work. If you fast forward to the things I'm doing now in coaching and consultancy, in leadership and for businesses, I think I've always kept that elite mentality and the fact that you can always better your best. And if you look at athletes and sports people, they've always got the mentality, no players off, no days off. They're always trying to work the margins, always trying to see if there's an extra level and effort. And yeah, I had a really interesting 2 to 3 years. So during lockdown, I actually started my company full time. I've always had some entrepreneurial endeavors. I've got a farm in Nigeria. Always had a couple of other entrepreneurial events going on, and I think I just thought with the global pandemic and the things out there that I could achieve and do, it was a good awakening for me. So I thought I need to be on this full time. And it's been a really exciting 2.5 to 3 years now. In terms of the projects I've been on. In Bradford, I'm a non-executive director at Bradford Bulls. I'm the corporate social responsibility director, which should give me a great chance to see what rugby league can do for the community in Bradford. Obviously, Bradford Bulls have got a history of being the world champions. We obviously want to make the Wembley of the North. We've got a levelling up bid right now with the government, and we've got some exciting plans to try and get back to Super League. So it was great to be on that journey. At the same point, I'm working on a project with Bradford Trident and the council funded to try and make more entrepreneurs in Bradford, help businesses start up. Because I personally believe that entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership changes the world. I believe them three areas, you get that right in cities, countries, regions, in your household, the sky's the limit. So they're really areas that I've always focused. So yeah, that's a little bit of a backdrop about myself.
I mean, and talking about changing the world, talking about your journey, and most importantly, talking about mindset. What was life growing up like as a child? And how and when did your whole entrepreneurial journey begin?
Um, So my parents have always been really keen on education, and also on community based provisions. My mother's CEO of a local charity. She's always been based on community provisions, but always you always have business and entrepreneurial events at the charity for community members, and it always really interested me. People coming and talking about business, but also the help that they provide for young people trying to start their own businesses. And it always interested me business. It always interested me how you could lead and people could turn an idea or a thought into a business. Everything from your corner shop to your online business. It always amazed me as a young kid, probably around 12 or 13. I always thought to myself, I'd always run a business. I'd always be in the front of a business because I just believed enterprises and business and how they worked and that mindset and the leadership it takes to run a business and have an idea, bring it to the forefront. And I think it's amazing, and I think it's difficult, and I think it has its challenges. But I think compared to this is my own personal opinion. If you're an employee, you have limits. If you're a business owner, a CEO, you don't have limits. I've got a couple of projects this year where it's like the sky's the limit. I'm speaking to people who are like, we can do fantastic things with this, but and you just can't do that as an employee. As a business owner, you can. We want to open a business and we want to franchise it around the country. You can do that. If you want to go global with a business, you can do that. If you want to seek investment, you can do that. If you want to spend time researching, developing a project that you think you can do more on, you can do that. I had a really interesting conversation with two young women who want to start a business up. And I was like, why do you want to start this business up? And they said, well, we currently work for somebody and they make us do so many hours doing this and so many hours doing that. And they went, they want to do so many hours doing this, so many hours doing that. And I went, beautiful. That's the difference if you're the owner or if you own a business. You can make the decisions and it might go right, it might go wrong, but it's under your own steam. And I think that's one thing that always really got me with the mindset. If I win or fail or it don't go right, it's off my own back and it's my decision. And I always felt a lot more comfortable with that. And I think playing rugby always really helped that because in essence, when you play rugby, you're bringing your package there, your training, your hard work, your diet. You're bringing it in there, and if it goes right or wrong in a game. In essence, it's down to you and how you trained and how you listened. So for me, that mindset was developed at a real early age.
I mean, you've talked on the surface about some of your business initiatives, but for the benefit of all our listeners around the world today, but also most especially for the benefit of our listeners in Bradford, can you just tell us a bit about some of your business initiatives and how they can be of great benefit to the people of Bradford?
Right, no, thanks very much. It's a really good question. So for me, I've got executive coaching and consultancy, specifying on leadership. So I've got a couple of clients where I really, really work with emerging talent. So normally that talent's executives, either emerging or developing, or CEO and owners, especially those who want to win with people. Real leadership where you want to be able to motivate your team. You want to be getting the best feedback. You want to make sure that you engage and the staff are all on the same page. But sometimes the dreams and aspirations of your staff might not be the same as your own. So it's how do you combine and engage where your staff want to get to, where the company wants to get to, and how do you keep on developing people and yourselves? So at the minute, I'm pitching and doing more and more work with emerging talents in companies where the company like we want to grow, we want to expand, and I speak to the CEOs and I've said, okay, what are you doing to lead and develop your people, or lead and develop yourself? Because for me, the way you win at work is you win with your people. So I'm always really interested to talk to companies in Bradford in the region who want to win with their people, who want to lead through the engagement and development of themselves and their staff. Because again, as I mentioned before, innovation, leadership, it changes companies, and you really see it when you see your staff engaged, working hard, doing stuff that in essence you're leading them on rather than having to manage them. So for most companies, they're over managed, under led. Because you can go to university, you can get the management skills, that leadership skills, that being able to get a little bit more out of your staff, and for your staff to want to give a little bit more as well as the staff feeling safe and secure and trusted. So I speak a lot to owners about the relationships with the staff. What do you do with staff? How well do you know your staff? If you weren't there, how would the staff talk about the business? Do they know the vision for the business? How many times a year do you sit down with your staff individually and engage with them and talk about the vision for the company and how they sit within the vision? Because I mean, most people within a company they want to feel important. So yeah, I'm really interested in working with companies and people, executives and emerging talent who want to win through leadership. And I've had some really interesting conversations at work in the last year where it's been really good seeing people develop as leaders and going back to their company and really engaging with their staff and everything from how they engage in feedback, how they do reviews, how they engage with their staff when they want to do stuff. Also, how they make discussions, some little discussions, some little one percenters every day. How you talk to your people that really make a difference. And for me, it's sometimes the difference in some of these companies who really scale because they just get that little bit of extra commitment, that extra little bit of different mindset from their staff.
I mean, when we talk about mindset, when we talk about innovation, when we talk about passion, when we talk about energy, when we talk about being strategic, what would you say makes a good natural entrepreneur?
In terms of an entrepreneur, I think you've always got to be seeking ideas. I think you've got to be a really good listener. But I think you've always got to be looking at ideas that aren't mainstream, ideas that you might not have the consensus at the time. So I think a lot of really good stuff for entrepreneurs have come out of ideas where at the beginning they might have thought, wow, this is a little bit out of the field, but then they'll be able to smooth it over. I think it's really good having ideas you want to work on, ideas happy to talk to people about, and to try and really cultivate and make better. But in terms of innovation, entrepreneurship, I think having some good ideas to work with and being able to work them through, I think that's really important. And to listen, seek advice. I always say when I'm especially when I'm doing coaching with entrepreneurs and people in that realm, I really advise them to get a coach, get a sounding board. You have a really good idea, have people around you can trust and listen to. And if when you're talking to them, try and work out when they give you the feedback. Okay, they said this about the idea. What do I think about that? How can I adapt my ideas? Is what they're saying makes sense? Have I got any empirical data that will help me? Or what am I doing completely brand new? So I'm going to have to do something a little bit different. But I think really taking action on that idea is the thing I see most in entrepreneurs and innovators. Really having a good idea and working it. You really have to work your idea. And that'll take some other things as well, like discipline and really having a real sharp focus. Yeah, I'd really say cultivating and taking action on an idea because for me, there's a lot of people out there with ideas, but it's taking that action, it's actually working your idea out. Can it make money? How long will it take to commercialize it? What do I need to bolt onto the idea? Is there people I need to be attached to help? I had a really interesting conversation this week with somebody who wants to come up with a business, and I knew he was just lacking one or two things he needed to really launch, but he was aware of it because he was aware of it. He's out there in the marketplace trying to find them assets. And that for me, when I'm talking to somebody like that, I know that they're a couple of moves away from really, really getting it right. So yeah, Tony, I'd definitely say the cultivation and taking action on ideas.
Now, it's the beginning of a brand new year, and we both know it's gonna be a very beautiful year because we're gonna make things happen. Just wrapping up now, what does Bradford mean to you? And what does Nigeria also mean to you?
Good question. Good question. I think Bradford's got a real strong headwind with the City of Culture bid having been won. I think it's a big 2 year build up to that. And for me, I think Bradford as a whole has got a lot of unlimited potential. I think there's so much creativity. I think it's one of the youngest cities in the country as well. But I think, like I think I just said, in terms of people with ideas, taking actions, being resilient. And for me, I think it's going to be another breakout year for people in this region in terms of entrepreneurship and innovation and really just going for it. So obviously, I know we've got a cost of living, and for me, the best way to fight back is economically. Because I mean, people make thousands, millions in a recession. So if you're an asset, you want to get out there, get your ideas out there. If you're in place to start a business, do it. If you're internally in a company, come out with your big ideas in a company. Be bold and go out there. And if you're going to be an entrepreneur, should we say, and you're inside a company, come out with your big ideas and your creativity. Because I think for me, there's a lot of unlimited potential in Bradford, a lot of untapped potential that for me just needs a little bit of a tweak in mindset, a little bit more of a gun ho. Let's go for it. We've got an idea. Let's work it out. Let's try and see what we can capture. And for Nigeria, again, a lot of unlimited potential in that region, and I'm hopefully trying to get out there the back end of the year to visit my farm. And for me, it's a shame in Nigeria. Um, there's a lot of work that can be done out there, and you know what I mean, it's a different climate in essence to Bradford, but it's the same sort of recipe. You work hard, keep going, ride out the storms as well. I think as well there is a lot of play sometimes with the roller coaster having a year, maybe be taken out a little bit by the lows. But I think you've got to try and bear the bad times, and I know it can be difficult out there in Nigeria when I'm talking to people about some of the climate and what's going on. But I think you have to have that real resilience and keep on going, developing your ideas, keep taking what you've got to the marketplace. But yeah, I think the opportunities, there's a vast opportunities in Nigeria. And I think I was in London talking to some Russians, and they were talking about the investments they wanted to make in Nigeria, and I was like, the place is full of so many creative and resilient people. I think you know, what I mean, it probably does need a little bit more different foreign investment. But for me, foreign investment that's going to work in collaboration, probably rather than trying to take over. But yeah, my ideas would be the same: running on your ideas, using resilience, and not giving up, not giving up.
Now, for the benefit of all our listeners around the world today, just wrapping up, if they want to get in contact with you to find out more about your business initiatives, whether in Bradford or around the country or around the world, how can they reach you?
You can email me, which is bolu@fagborun.com, or look for me on LinkedIn as well. I'm always engaged on LinkedIn. I'm always coming through with some of my ideas or projects I'm involved with. It's a great instrument, is LinkedIn. Also, check my website out, which is www.fagborun.com. But yeah, email me, get in touch. I'm always happy to collaborate. I'm always happy to answer questions, and I'm always happy to talk to people. You know, I mean, people with that mindset and innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership. It's always fantastic to engage with people who want to do more in 2023. So yeah, Tony, thanks very much for your time.
Beautiful. And we've just put the website underneath the screen now. On a very final note, what message you have for African and Caribbeans around the world today, and also what message you have for Bradfordians?
Final, I would say that there is so much unlimited potential in these regions, and just for extra little bit of courage and that extra little bit of innovation and entrepreneurship, and to really want to lead from the top, especially Africans and Caribbeans around the world, it's the top where you want to be at. if you can reach for the top, go for it. For me, would be my absolute message. That for me is where I look to place myself, and I always think it's a lot easier to look at them and think, how effective can I be, and can I get to the top, rather than settling for anything else.
Rather than settling for anything else, Mr. Bolu Fagborun, always seeking for excellence. So lovely to see you in person today. Keep shining, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks very much, Tony. God bless you.